Week 20 of the CFL season is here. It is a glorious day in the city of Hamilton. Hopefully, wherever you are watching this, it is just as glorious. If not, well, we live in Canada. Entertainment purposes only, as always, as we dive into another edition of Picks, Props, and Predictions. Please play responsibly. Know your limits. That's extremely important. And I found that out last week when I went 0-2. Kind of 0.5 and 2 last week. I'll explain in a second. 8-7 overall for the season. Not very good. Nothing to write home about. I had Winnipeg -2.5 against the Argos. Toronto wins that game last week 14-11. I had Austin Matthews with over 4.5 shots on goal against the Devils last week. He had 0 shots on goal. And I also had the winner of the Monday Night Football game between the Bills and the Jets. The winner, in which I picked Buffalo, would go on to win the AFC East. Well, the Bills are at least a step ahead of the rest of the competition in the East. So I'll give myself a half point if I can in that regard. Let's start with a pick, and we're going to focus on the Canadian Football League from top to bottom here on Triple P. As I mentioned, week 20 of the CFL season begins Friday night at Tim Hortons Field. 6-10 Ticats versus the 4-11-1 Calgary Stampeders. Most sports books have Hamilton -3.5. Some have -2.5. Some have -4.5. The Cats are 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 games. Calgary 1-7 against the spread in their last 8 contests. And their last 5 losses have all been by 5 or more points. So I'm heavily leaning towards the Tiger Cats here. Let's not forget that the last place Stampeders are also 0-7 on the road. Hamilton also coming off the bye. They're going to be the much fresher. And I think, despite missing the playoffs and finding that out during their bye week, I think they want to showcase to the hometown crowd that they're going to go out this season playing as hard as they can. I think that means winning football this week. I'll take the Ticats -2.5, paying -110 at most sports books. To the prop we go, and we're going to focus on Hamilton's run game, which has not been very exciting, to say the least, this season. It started out with a bang. James Butler, a $1.19 versus the Stamps in week 1. And whether it's Butler this week or Greg Bell, who's back at practice, and head coach Scott Milanovich after Wednesday's practice called him healthy or healthy-ish, either or, Hamilton has had the worst run game in the CFL. The stats prove it, 80.2 yards running per game. But I think it's going to be rather productive, especially if the Cats get out to an early lead or lead wire to wire, because Calgary has the league's worst run D. They are allowing 127 yards per game on the ground. So my prop is Ticats as a team rush for 80-plus yards versus Calgary. They will surpass their season average against the Stampeders. And to the prediction we go, and I thought long and hard about this, and it pains me to say it, but the Argos are going in the right direction, and the Red Blacks are not. Toronto's 9-7 on the season, and they can clinch second place in the East with a home win Saturday afternoon against Ottawa. Red Blacks 8-7-1. Toronto's 1-2 in a row. Ottawa's lost 4 straight. I will predict that Toronto will beat Ottawa to clinch second place. As always on Picks, Props, and Predictions, rapid fire NFL picks. Last week, it was a remarkable week on Triple P. 13-1. The lone loss. And I'm not sure what I was thinking, but I had Denver beating the Chargers. They also almost came back to win it, but they did not. Overall in the season, 66-26. Not too shabby, being 40 games over 500. Week 7 NFL rapid fire winners. I'm on the Denver train again. Denver over New Orleans. Thursday nighter. It's in New Orleans. The Saints are banged up, though. I'll take Denver to win in a squeaker. I have the Bills beating Tennessee. I have Indianapolis over my Dolphins. Jacksonville getting back in the win column against New England in a game that's going to be played in London, again for the Jags. A heavyweight tilt between the Lions and Vikings. Give me Detroit to keep the engine going. Cincinnati beats Cleveland. Green Bay gets past Houston, which should be a phenomenal game. Atlanta beats Seattle. Philadelphia over the Giants. I have Washington taking care of business against Carolina. The Rams off the bye week to beat Vegas. We just traded Devontae Adams. San Francisco gets its revenge against the Chiefs. The Jets beat Pittsburgh. And 2 games on Monday night. Baltimore upends Tampa Bay. And Arizona at home will upset the Chargers. Not sure what it's me and the Chargers have a beef, apparently. But I think Arizona at home Monday night gets the job done. Ticats host the Stampeders Friday night. Kickoff at Tim Hortons Field is at 7 o'clock. We will be on the air for the 5th quarter show here on YouTube Friday at about 10 p.m.-ish, whenever the game ends. Head over to this channel. If you have not subscribed already, do so. Hit that notification bell so you get notified when new content drops. Tuesdays, it's Sober Second Thoughts. Thursdays, Picks, Props, and Predictions. And after every Ticats game. During the offseason, I'm kind of mulling over what to do during the offseason. There's a lot of things that I can hop into. If you have a suggestion, make note of it in the comments section. Send me an email, 5th quarter show, number 5, 5th, 5th quarter show at gmail.com. I'll be ecstatic to receive your recommendations. And who knows, it might make for some great content here on the 5th quarter show. Have an awesome day, and Oski Wheelie.